we have a bit of quiet, we may talk. If you are interested in stories with happy endings, you would be better off watching some other video. I thought it would be nicer for us to be in another cabin as my siblings are sleeping next door. Well, we have been through a lot. The phrase "been through a lot" here means the children had spent years surviving multiple attempted murders and were fleeing from a gross individual who was after their enormous fortune. But I'm excited to meet our new guardian, you. Mr. Poe told us you were looking to adopt us, and I could not be happier. Usually, I'm quite concerned when I see Mr. Poe, for he is the bearer of unfortunate news. But this time, I can feel something is different. And I'm very, very, very sorry you had to hop on the train on such short notice. See, we're actually fleeing from Count Olaf. He's only the most despicable character. The word despicable here means deserving hatred and contempt, as Count Olaf was a vile psychopath only motivated by monetary gain. And he has been after our enormous fortune for quite a while. We had no choice but to jump on the first train and leave town. I must say, I'm very surprised that you agreed to come with us on such short notice. Count Olaf. Oh, we were placed under his care because, according to Mr. Poe, he's our third cousin 4 times removed, or our 4th cousin 3 times removed. I'm not sure. He tried to marry me, a child, to steal our fortune, and has since then relentlessly attempted to regain guardianship over us by appearing disguised every single time we are placed with new guardians. But let us not speak of this terrible character. He's neither interesting nor kind. As a matter of fact, he's short-tempered, bad-smelling, and murderous. Unlike you, who seem very interesting and kind, very obliging, clean-smelling, and the opposite of murderers. Well, I'm very pleased to make your acquaintance, but before we can fully trust you, I would very much like to introduce ourselves and ask you a few questions. Very well. As you know, I am the eldest Baudelaire child. My name is Violet, and I like to invent things. My younger brother is Klaus, and he's very fond of reading. My younger sister is Sunny, and she's very keen on biting. Now, let us move on to my questionnaire. I know it may seem a bit odd. The word odd here means different to what is usual or expected, as most children do not prepare a questionnaire for their future guardians. But then again, most children do not have a continuous streak of bad luck. But my siblings and I have been through so much with previous guardians, we just want to make sure that this time we won't be let down. Thank you for understanding, that's very kind of you. As I previously said, Count Olaf is always showing up and trying to steal us away, so I want to make sure you won't be duped by his ridiculous costumes. My first question is, are you easily fooled by fake accents? Well, the reason why I'm asking you is because Count Olaf once disguised himself as an Italian herpetologist lab assistant. We were at the time under the care of Dr. Montgomery, our father's cousin's brother-in-law. Uncle Mounty was a very nice uncle. He had planned to take us to Peru, but Count Olaf, disguised as Stefano, an Italian herpetologist lab assistant, started working for him. Dr. Montgomery, or Uncle Mounty thought Stefano, or Count Olaf, was a jealous spy from the Herpetology Society, trying to steal the incredibly deadly viper, but really he was Count Olaf. In the end, Count Olaf or Stefano murdered Uncle Mounty or Dr. Montgomery using snake venom and blamed it on the Mamba du Mal, a giant snake owned by Uncle Mounty. To conceal his identity, Count Olaf spoke in a ridiculous Italian accent. He had a bald head, shaved eyebrow, and a long scraggly beard. You can spot fake accent miles away. Well, that's very good to hear. That's very good news. Well, let us move to the next question. Next question. Are you likely to fall in love with sea captains? I know the question might seem bizarre, but let me explain myself. Our third guardian was Josephine Ann Wessel, our second cousin sister-in-law. We liked Aunt Josephine, even though she thought grammar was the greatest joy in life. Unfortunately, she lost her husband to lachrymose lychees and had developed numerous fears, including irrational concerns about doorknobs, radiators, telephones, and ovens. Count Olaf disguised himself as Captain Giulio Sham, a man with an eye patch and a wooden peg leg, and he tried to romance Aunt Josephine. He lied to her, and he said he had a peg leg because his original leg had been devoured by leeches, which was in fact a lie, because, as you know, Captain Giulio Sham, or Count Olaf, really has 2 legs and was merely trying to cover his eye tattoo on his left ankle. Do you follow? Anyway, Count Olaf, or Captain Giulio Sham, romanced Aunt Josephine, and in the end, he pushed her to the waters of Lake Lachrymose, where she met her bitter end. Therefore, I am asking you once again, are you the type of person who fall in love easily? The question, are you the type of person who falls in love easily, here means, are you going to fall in love with a disguised Count Olaf and plead him to let you live by offering our life and our fortune in exchange for your own safety? Well, that's absolutely perfect. We love an aromantic queen. Next question. What do you think of boarding school? Well, I'm only asking because we were once sent to a boarding school overseen by monstrous employees. You may have heard of it. It is called the Puffrock Preparatory School, horrid name, and it had so many odd rules. Well, for example, we had to sleep in crab-infested, fungus-dripping shacks because we had no living guardian to sign a permission slip for us. My sister Sunny, who is an infant, had to work as the principal assistant, and we had to attend nightly concerts at which said principal performed horridly on the violin. Punishments from rule breaking included having silverware removed or hands tied while eating in the cafeteria. And while of course you can bet that Count Olaf soon arrived, disguised as the new gym teacher, Coach Genghis. And of course the principal failed to recognize him. And of course no one believed us. And of course Coach Genghis, or Count Olaf, ended up kidnapping us along with our friends, Duncan and Isadora Quagmire. Well, Count Olaf, or Coach Genghis, was after the famous Quagmire Sapphire as much as he wanted our fortune. You don't believe in sending children to boarding school? Well, that's excellent news. Next question, a bit more on the practical side. Are you planning on giving us each a bed to sleep in at night? Well, I'm only asking because when we were placed in the care of Count Olaf, we were only given one bed to sleep in. Even though his ramshackle house was quite large, we were put together in one filthy bedroom that had only one small bed in it. Klaus and I took turns sleeping in it so that every other night one of us was in the bed and the other one was sleeping on a hard wooden floor, and the bed mattress was so lumpy it was difficult to say who was more uncomfortable. to make a bed for Sunny, I had to remove the dusty curtains from the curtain rod that hung over the bedroom's one window and bunch them together to form a sort of a cushion just big enough for a poor infant. However, without curtains over the cracked glass, the sun streamed through the window every morning so that we woke up early and sore every day. Oh no. We didn't have any closet. Instead of a closet, there was a large cardboard that once held a refrigerator and would then hold our clothes all piled in a heap. And instead of toys, books, or other things to amuse us, Count Olaf had provided us with a small pile of rocks. You are planning to give us each a bedroom? Well, that's marvelous. Well, next question, last question actually, do you think that chores are a part of education? Well, I'm only asking because when we were placed under the care of Count Olaf, he would leave a note with instructions for us, and they were usually difficult chores such as repainting the black porch or repairing windows. He once even asked us to cook for his troop. Oh, well, it was very difficult for us, you see. I knew how to repair windows and how to clean the chimney because these sorts of things interest me, but I didn't know how to cook anything except toast because I'm still so young. In the end, we managed to fetch a cooking book at Justice Strauss' house, our neighbor, and cook a puttanesca sauce, which resulted in Klaus getting slapped. So, I'm asking you once again, will you ask us to chop wood, repairing windows, repaint the black porch, or cleaning the chimney? No. Well, that sounds just like a dream. Well, very well then. I guess this is the end of my questionnaire. I'm very happy to tell you that, as the eldest of the Baudelaire children, I speak for all of us when I say that we accept you as our new guardian. I shall hope that our life with you is going to be a little bit nicer from now on. At this point in the story, I feel obliged to interrupt and give you one last warning. As I said in the very beginning, this story does not have a happy ending. It may appear now that Count Olaf will never come back and that the three Baudelaire youngsters will live happily ever after, but it is not so. If you like, you may shut the video this instant and not watch the unhappy ending that is to follow. You may spend the rest of your life believing that the Baudelaires triumphed over Count Olaf and lived the rest of their lives in a beautiful house with a caring guardian. But that is not how the story goes.